Welcome everyone. Tuesday meditation, 4:32 West Coast time. That's the number that plants grow to, 432 hertz. Perfect resonance for plants. Welcome, welcome, namaste, namaste. Beautiful day, beautiful day. Oh. I'm just going to feel the peace. The peace that is, just letting that peace drop right in. Dive under the wave. Into the peace we go. Oxygenating. Let the day roll off. Just allowing, receiving. Oxygenating. Just find your posture. Welcome everyone. So we're just finding that posture, a comfortable place where your head that's kind of like a 20-pound bowling ball can just find that perfect rotational, flotational place where it's not causing you neck stress. And then we're releasing through the shoulders. And we breathe. Sometimes tilting the chin a little bit forward allows the energy to come up to the top of the head here in the back. That's a little more, if you were held up by a thread, that would be the perfect alignment. If our chin is too far out, it tends to move the energy into the prefrontal lobes, which is good if you're concentrating on maybe an external thing, but it sort of messes up that approach to the deeper spatial peace. So we breathe into that deeper spatial peace, that sort of the right brain, geospatial hemisphere that governs poetry, emotions, geometry, time and distance in all of its play. Right? And the left brain tends to be more words, languaging, arithmetic process. It's more like a computer, kind of a digital computer. Right brain is more like an aviary. Lots of space to fly around. Active imagination. So we want to balance these two hemispheres, right? This right side, active imagination, left side, grounded determination, bringing the two together down this inclination of straight down the middle. And just sort of feel that buoyancy, the lightness that comes from being balanced on the perfect pivot. So there's no stress on your structure. Structure is just kind of waving like a underwater Illyria kelp in a kelp forest, right? Flexible like you. Flexible personality, flexible body, flexible mind. You will live a long time, right? So staying very flexible. That unlocks the chain of pain to some degree, right? Flexibility. Right? When we're stiff and rigid, it's kind of like a chain, right? So pop the chain by just no more blame. Just own whatever it is and feel it. Now, usually one or two things happens. We feel pressure or we feel sensation, right? Pressure, pain, sensation, space. So we're checking into the body. What are you feeling? Are you feeling pressure, pain? In which case, where? Or are you experiencing this spacious, gracious sensation? sensation. Just noticing, are you experiencing sensation or pressure pain? Just turning the volume up a little. Just noticing that. What is your body doing? Trying to equilibrate here. That's kind of what the body is doing. Equilibration, balance, left, right. Dropping into the balance that already exists. Do you feel pressure or do you feel pain? Or pressure and pain, or do you feel sensation and space? Okay, so if you're meditating well, you might not notice your body at all. You might not notice your mind at all. It sort of gets so still it disappears. So that's a good technology. So it just gets so still that everything kind of disappears. And then whatever still problem might stick out a little bit. And so here's the dharana. The dharana is a mini meditation that allows you to transcend something. So a dharana for pain would be, let's say you have a pain in your left shoulder. Looks like the right shoulder on your screen, I know. It's my left shoulder. And so we notice it's like, oh, the pain. But if we sit with it and you could say add space, it's going to turn slowly into sensation. So that's what we want, sensation. And then the pain, it expands out and softens. There's less compression, there's less density. It lightens up, it relaxes out. In a sense, it's like you drive through the field of the pain and it resolves through just being aware of whether it's sensation or pain. And as you keep observing it, the pressure eases off, the sensation is enhanced, and then that curious pain might feel kind of strange, but different. So let's just do that. Take something that's not right. Maybe it's a relationship, a feeling in your heart, a body issue. Just tune in. What does it feel like? What's this painful feeling doing? Just noticing it. So what is that pain doing? Okay, hips are tight for someone. Hi, Sharon. So good. Notice that tightness. And normally the brain categorizes it as pain. It's like, oh. But if you keep observing it, it kind of goes to a change. You start to kind of like the pain in a strange way, or you can, because it's changing. As you notice it, it begins to, more space comes into the mix. We're alkalinizing with our presence. We're alkalinizing with your love. You're alkalinizing with your compassion to yourself. That's a lighter expression than, oh, right, which might be coming from another part of you. So we're just, if some part is really tight and acidic, you don't even have to make that part completely right yet. Just as long as you're alkalinizing another part of the body to counteract the pressure. And the body is very wondrous and mysterious. It will distribute, right, the molecules. It will distribute the sensation. It will sort of smoothen out the field. It's like an ice cube tray, right? There could be a few missing cubes, but if you just keep filling it up with water, that all the water will go to that spot. Doesn't matter where you add the water. The ice cube lacuna fills up, and then you're full, and then your hormone pressure system tells your brain, aha, we're full. So your hormones are working on your behalf to moderate the pressure grid. When there's too much pressure, your hormones are going to signal your hypothalamus, the glands in the brain, to send other hormones to balance out the mix. So just bringing your attention to a spot that's painful is doing more than just your conscious brain going there, right? It's bringing meta attention for your supercomputer, which then locks into the situation, begins to process it, right? The longer you, in a sense, drop in your sort of alkaline state, your beautiful feeling mind, your loving heart, then the pain will just sort of melt. So let's just try that, because that's generally what happens in a healing, right? The more hydrogen comes in, more distribution of the pressure sort of eases out, the body accommodates everything better, homeostasis is at hand. And so you could make the case that meditation is the ultimate barometric, right? It allows your body to feel and become aware of itself on a level that when your mind has hijacked the show, it's not as sensitized to. So we just get this big elephant mind off of us. Park it over here. Breathe. Of course, the elephant mind wants to roll back onto you. It's like, but I'm your mind. Give me more attention. Oh, I'm a hog for attention. So we just allow that to move over and feel that spaciousness where the mind relaxes. And you're more aware of your personal power, because you are the power. So we're softening, breathing, allowing, distributing. Maybe add the word mulling. We mull, right? The brain kind of stirs the soup, the mull cider, the insider decider, the mull soup. And when it's just right, when we've mulled it to the point of perfection, those thoughts say to you, we're done here. Mull. Well, it's funny that in India, the Mula mantra, it means root mantra. So the Muladhara chakra, right? It's this first chakra. Get into this anchor. So in this ocean of consciousness, it's good to be a bell buoy, right? With the ballast at the base, bobbing up and down in the different undulation of consciousness, but always buoyant, upright like those clown dolls that we punched as children. They bounce back up, right? That sand base that gives it that stability. So that mula, dropping down into the base of the spine, like a buoyancy buoy, right, at sea. So your Muladhara chakra, the abode of the root. Just feeling this connection down the legs. This liver meridian goes out the big toes. The wood principle goes into the earth, the roots. Just feeling this root energy grounding you, holding you up, expanding you. If the head is spinning from reality, we ground into the roots, into the earth, into chakra 10 at the base of the feet. One way to do that is to feel gravity as love. Beautiful love. Just loving you. In fact, I have a poem about that. Just feeling that gravity love. Beautiful love. I can find this poem. I wasn't planning to read it, but now that we're talking about gravity, just feeling the gravity. Gravity is the great mother loving you. Just feeling the love. Beautiful love. It's called the wisdom of gravity. Come, let us hear your tale, waxed the harvest moon. Why should I speak? Replied gravity. I am captivating beyond words and irresistibly attractive. For years I have held you in my arms. I brought you into this world and gave you form and direction. Yet you know me not. The very light that shines in your face is due to my grace. I keep all things in perspective, for I am at the heart of all matters, and I exert my influence in 1,000 ways, and yet still, you know me not. Oh, mysterious one, moaned the moon. The greatest of scientists are baffled by your nature. Countless studies, years of contemplation have not revealed your secrets. Tell me, who are you? What are you? I beg of you. Silly moon, said gravity. I'm the force of attraction itself. Now do you understand? I'm afraid I don't, says the moon. Oh, moon, I am love. I am love. Gravity. Just noticing beautiful gravity loving you. It might have broken your plate. It might have caused you an impact trauma, but most likely you had a negative charge there that attracted the accident or the situation. So gravity is not to blame. Just basking in the asking of gravity, the requesting of this beautiful love that's holding you onto the planet. Allows everything to find its perfect place. Chains are a lockdown. But this is where we become Gandhi in jail. Right? Gandhi in jail. Doesn't matter if you put Gandhi in jail, he's Gandhi. You could put him in a box, it doesn't matter, right? He's Gandhi anyway. So there you go, right? Whoever you are, wherever you are, be like Gandhi, right? Impervious conscious suffering. We call it forbearance. Titiksha, it's called in Sanskrit. Or satyagraha, truth force. We deal with the chains of pain in many different ways. To be like Gandhi may be one of the best, actually, because what that is saying, right, is it doesn't matter what's happening outside of you. You're an inside job. So, right, some of the greatest of leaders spent years in jail, refining their monastic strength. So this inside out power is obviously connected to the outside, but you are the master. One of my favorite quotes is, my Baba said, everyone is a perfect master worshiping God in their own strange way. You could say strange and wondrous way. It's not the soul, it's the soul, not the role. Even if we object to that form of worship, that takes us to the higher upaya, right? These higher means of spiritual perception that lifts us above the earlier stages of repetitious actions and strengthenings, past to where you developed understanding about the nature of the self, right into a direct experience, the pure I am awareness, where you can establish yourself in that on the 51% plus platform, let's call it. So you just don't dip back down into the 49 victim, weakness, I'm drowning here mode. Right, we want that water level below the mouth. So you stand on the brick and you can walk out of the lake. 51% gives you all the power necessary, right? You don't need the other 49, you can give it away. 51% will launch the rocket, will win the election. All the birds will fly left or right. You could say it's the decider. So let's go back to the dharana we were doing earlier. If you just experience pain in a certain way, notice that you have pain if you have pain, and then resolve and dissolve it. Notice it to the point where it ceases to be its initial broadcast. It starts to change. You find a way to relativize with it through just resonance. You just park your attention on it and you interact with it. You can burn holes in clouds. Strange thoughts will run away. Right? This potency of your consciousness is so, we don't realize how potent it is, right? Because we're swimming in it all day. This inner observation deck. Coming through self-inquiry ultimately, right? You keep tuning into what am I, who am I? In India they have this phrase, the baby says kwoham, kwoham, kwoham when it's crying and breathing, which translates to who am I, who am I, who am I? And then the spirit of the breath, the intelligent angel of your being, says Soham, Soham, Hamsa, Hamsa. I am that, recognizes its link to the highest consciousness. So forgetting that seems to be the root cause of the chain of pain. The ignorance where we forget who we are. And one of the causes, evidently, is a very particular kind of ignorance. And I love it that in India they actually have names for this stuff, that we don't even have these concepts in the West. But they have names for this. So it's called Bodh Adhyana. It's a kind of primal ignorance that comes with the body, right? So you could be this very high spirit coming in. You come into the Brahmani Nadi, into the body in your mother's womb, and then that, just dropping into that pond, it's such a big splash that you forget what you are, right? There's a primal ignorance in the body that dominates. So the baby completely forgets. Unless you're Paramahansa Yogananda, and if you watch the movie about him, he talks about being born, he actually remembers it. So that's someone who's evolved enough that probably don't have to be here. So their entry and exit is more come and go, more effortless, less of a drama. But I believe that it's in there. The memories of your birth are there. But more importantly, just to remember beyond that, right? There could be a lot of birth trauma. But who are you really? Who is this being coming into the pain body, into the janma, into embodiment, which in the chain of pain comes from karma, right? We do things that create pain, and that creates more embodiment. And then that's dukkha, which is frustration, literally means broken axle. It's tough when your car won't work. Right, Sandra? So everyone, we could just send any folks who have cars that aren't working. It's a reflection of the vehicle, right? Our outer vehicle always is in need of repair, right? It just happens to last for a while until the next repair. But let's say we're continuously repairing the vehicle, and we think, oh, that's our body. I feel like the vehicle is really the mind, because the body is more like the garden you're planted in. But the tree that's growing is you, right? This is deeper than the body. So that vehicle needs repair. Right? Your subtle energy body may be far more in need of attention than your physical. But in the West, we're geniuses with the physical. Like, we can look like nobody's business good, but some of the best looking people might be some of the most disturbed if you actually examine their subtle energy body, right? So, good to take care of the subtle energy body. This is the pain body Eckhart Tolle speaks about. It's like the ancestral residuals, the unfinished business, people that came before us. They couldn't deal with their pain, so like, oh, here, you take a hot potato. So now we're stuck with these hot potatoes, and if you hold on to them too long, they burn. So we want to discharge any hot potatoes, any karmic affliction. Let's just do that right now. We'll just use sankalpa. We'll just use our group will here as an energy group. And then there'll be people watching later, and they're sort of here indirectly, even though they're in a different time space. Right? They're participating in the same kalpa, the same thought. And so we strengthen everyone's vehicles. Intrapsychic vehicle, body vehicle, love vehicle, heart. So your chain of pain turns into, what is it they call it in a car? It's like a fan belt. Keep things rolling. There's probably always going to be some pain. All right. Why? Keep you grounded a little bit. All right. Keep you humble, honest, clear, on the path. So just a little refresh. This primary ignorance leads to a lack of discrimination, which leads to false identification with the thoughts. You really think you're your thoughts, things go south. Leads to attraction and aversion, raga and devesha, which leads to karmic action, which leads to embodiment, which leads to frustration. And that can happen in a blink of an eye. It's like Marshall Rosenberg says, when we get angry, for example, we're kind of dead in the head. And it happens to everyone. We get hijacked by the rage, the emotion. And we just forget who we are, right? That's the problem. We forget who we are. Number one problem in the world, I would suggest. All right? If everyone remembered that they were the divine energy, there'd be a giant art project everywhere. But we have a realm of little gods. Everyone's duking it out, right? There's leadership in the body, right? And yet, it's well distributed. All the organs are important. All the glands have their say. It's very egalitarian. It's not an authoritarian. Although the mind likes to be the authoritarian. But that's where meditation is helpful. The mind can go and jump on a trampoline and you can be free. So just sitting quietly adds enough peace to the mix that the mind stops doing its tricks. It's diluted, right? You're diluting these intensities in their body with more spaciousness. So some urge that would take you down the road to ruin, suddenly, you're not really interested in that, right? Because there's all these other good feelings circulating. Isn't the problem come when you think there's only one strategy for your solution? And we just go bonkers over trying to make that the thing, right? When in fact, to meet your needs, there's infinite strategies. This is the nonviolent communication agenda, right? To understand the difference between needs and strategies. Infinite strategies. So when we limit them to one or two, we become a bonkerhead, right? We're just bonking on things, just demanding it has to be this way. It's full of violence. But if there's lots of options, then you're into the request line where, okay, the request is not acknowledged, no problem, no violence there. So I like this word request because it's a request. You're seeking again the truth. We're always questing, always transcending the duality, always transcending the irreconcilables. All right, this is, Jung has a phrase for this. It's kind of complicated stuff, but it's enantiodromia. What does that mean? We have a pendulum that we swing back and forth. Right? It's enantiodromia. Sort of always oscillating, pulsing. What happens is you reach your limit, right? Let's say it's a male and a female come together. There's only so much they can merge into each other. And so the third that comes together from the irreconcilable separate people is a child, a baby, a thought, an idea, an invention, a creation. And so here's where we can take our conflict and turn it into art. Well, this is one way to think of it. Right? We're thinking, oh, this is so painful. We have these irreconcilables. Right? It's just like can't go forward. We have Congress, bang, 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 right? Whatever it is that's at loggerheads, like can't budge, paralyzed. What's the solution? Well, interestingly, according to Jung, the enantiodromia kicks into something called a transcendental function. So it means if two things can't go any further, something new is born. Right? We get something new. Because we leave the West behind, so to speak, right? These logger-headed blocks done, and it's like out of the fire comes the phoenix. So what would be an example? We use up the child coming out from two parents, a compromise, a bill that, congressional bill could be two irreconcilable sides, and they come to some agreement and they create a whole, a third thing. So the mind is always doing that, right? So let's just notice, what is your mind doing when it hits that loggerhead block stuckness, and then it's like you lift out of the chains. Sort of like you die and go to heaven, meaning you leave behind the mess, right? But you don't have to leave your body to do that, luckily. So we can transcend the pain body irreconcilables with this newness, or this requesting, right? The quest, it's an eternal quest. It's actually a gas law, believe it or not. If we get super technical, Prigogine, the Italian Nobel Prize winner, it's called dissipative systems technologies, right? Whoa, so that's what we are. We're basically following gas laws of dissipative systems, because it's not so linear, right? Your emotions are more like gases than bricks. So let's just notice that for a minute, that you're mostly made of empty space with high-speed gas particles, literally, right? Speed of light stuff flying around in a big field. And when you notice this, it's like, oh, whew. All of a sudden, the edge, the stress, it's not there. It's like you're into a different geospatial, gaseous place, right? More nonlinear, more quantum, more infinite. more swirly, more light, right? Less rigid, less earthbound. So just noticing that literally your body is following the gas laws of the atomic table, and that your chakras themselves are actually the noble gases, right? Why? Because the pressure grid in your body requires certain places to be stabilized, right? Otherwise you'd be a great big mess, right? And woo! Right, but we have a third eye, we have a throat chakra, right? We have these integrated places where the noble gas is so noble, it's basically imperturbable. You cannot mess with the noble gas. So if you are meditating correctly with the noble gas alignment, then who can mess with you, right? You're like super noble, a super noble gas explosion of love. Okay, so I'm just gonna notice this. Dissipative systems that we are, non-linear systems that all flow together according to divine law. So that's a lot of information. Let's just breathe that in and just float with that for a minute. Just feel that. We're made of empty space. Kabir, you missed the secret teaching, but we'll repeat it. Okay, so we're just tuning into the fact that we don't weigh anything. We're like a gas principle of empty space with high-speed particles. Let's feel the spaciousness that comes from that. Pain is when it's all pressed and compressed, right? So when we go expand it into the hydrogen, let's call it, then no pain, right? It's an alkaline elevator. So just feel that spaciousness in the body, in the chakras. Beautiful spaciousness that we are. Just notice, what part of your body do you need to relax? Are your shoulders all hiked up? Relax them. Does your neck need a little roll? Your jaw. Relax jaw. Relaxing eyeballs. Relaxing. Spaciousness. Good feeling. Breathing through the nose. I was speaking earlier of all the organs and the glands in the body. Just give them all a little love, just thanking them. Your co-workers, they have brains. They love you, you love them. I was thinking I have this other poem I wanted to read. It's sort of about body parts. This is for all you New Yorkers. In the New Yorker magazine, there's a section called The Talk of the Town. So anyway, this is the title of the poem. The Talk of the Town. The mind was restless. The ears were burning. The eyes were bulging. The tongue was babbling. The nose was running. Fingers were short-handed. Isn't there any butter in this joint? Said a squeaky muscle. It was an independent party. But then, Mr. Meditation came to town. Soon the mind was absorbed. The ears were tickled. The eyes rolled up. The nose stopped running. The tongue was speechless. Fingers were holding hands. Even the muscles relaxed. It was a joint consensus. I'm just thanking all these guys. Your support team. Kidneys, bladder. Blessings. I'm just going to go through the Shank cycle. So anyone listening, if you have a problem with any of these organs that we're going to mention, here comes the blessings for those organs. And then to receive it, I would say just, I love you, thank you to those organs. The neutral positive blessing releases the negative charge, and that's usually what the problem is. So, kidneys, bladder, that's where we hold fear. Just clearing the fear. Relaxing, kidneys, bladder. When you get really scared, we have to pee, right? It's like fear embodies itself there. So we want to clear collective fear, group fear, personal fear, family fear, genetic fear, cultural fear, out of your body, out of your mind, out of your heart, out of your cells, tissue, bones, organs, systems. And then the next stop on the train, Sheng cycle, liver, gallbladder. Okay, I'm testing as we go, and so that's a pretty big charge there, right? That's, I would say collectively, if you said which organs are having the most difficult time, without even checking the others, I just get this hit, right? The others are doing all right, but the liver, gallbladder, this is where the work is, certainly in this moment. I would say in the whole culture, there's some angry folks out there, right? The liver is inflamed. So we want to send that water energy to chill out the fire. Water is more like consciousness, like expansive meditation, oceanic feeling. Not this edgy, harsh, metallic clash fire. It's more water, maybe some more earth to ground, but not earth to create density. We breathe. And there's enough of us here to have a huge effect when we send out this pulse wave of protection to the people, right? I'm just sending the blessings. So from the inside out, everyone experiences love. Whatever their crazy thoughts might be thinking, crazy brain. Matters not when the inside out fluffs it up, just pops it, right? Just moves that debris field out. I'm just gonna Ganesh bell. got Ganesh. Removing the obstacles, whatever they may be. Asking for the grace. Google the universe, ask for the grace for whatever you need. A little please and thank you never hurt. Humility and gratitude take you 1,000 miles, less than a Tesla. 0 to infinity in no time flat. Shazamba. Liver plugs into the spine, thoracic vertebrae 5. So unplug it and replug it, reboot. So you get fresh nerve supply to the liver. Deliver. You will be delivered into the light by request. Again, more nerve supply to liver gallbladder complex, clearing any anger, frustration, chain of pain residuals. They wind up in the liver. People drink too much, accumulates in the liver, right? Liver can only handle so much. The fastest regenerating organ in the body. It's like a jellyfish, octopus, right? It'll grow right back. But it needs the clear environment, neutral positive. That's what meditation is. You can defrag your liver, just being in the experience of relishing beingness, ultimately. It's like becoming nothing temporarily, going nowhere. Into the emptiness of the bowl is what gives it the resonance. If this was full of apples, couldn't do it. No matter how delicious the apples were. Or are. Just coming to awareness of the space that you're feeling. Just gonna breathe. Nice deep breath. Noticing reality as it is. Beautiful spaciousness. I was learning a new song yesterday. You might recognize it actually. When I wake up in the morning, love, the sunlight hurts my eye. Something without warning, love, bears heavy on my mind. Then I look at you, and the world's alright with me. Just one look at you, and I know it's gonna be lovely day, 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 lovely day. When the times that lie ahead of me seem impossible to face, someone else instead of me always seems to know the way. Then I look at you, and the world's alright by me. Just one look at you, and I know it's gonna be lovely day, 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 lovely day. Cause this love's in need of love today. Don't delay yet, send yours in right away. Hate's gone round, breaking many hearts. Stop it please yet, before it's gone too far. Hate's gone round, breaking many hearts. Stop it please yet, before it's gone too far. The force of evil plans to make you its possession, and it will, if you let it, destroy everybody. We all must take precautionary measures If love and truth you treasure, then hear me when I say that it's love's in need of love today. Don't delay it, send yours in right away. Hate's gone round, breaking many hearts. Stop it please, yeah, before it's gone too far. Good morning or evening, friends. It's your friendly announcer. I have serious news to pass on to everybody. What I'm about to say could mean the world's disaster, could change your joy and laughter to tears and pain. But it's love's in need of love today. Don't delay it, send yours in right away. Hate's gone round, breaking many hearts. Stop, yeah, it please, yeah, before it's gone too far. Hope you're feeling the love. I'm feeling the love. Namaste, everyone. It's a beautiful day, everyone. Yes, and Deanna was joining, and you're getting kudos, Deanna, from the wondrous beings. So, until next week, namaste, namaste.